Also telling us about a piece of wreckage they found from a craft. I believe it was 1950, and it was almost pure silica.
Alright, so in this video, Joe Rogan dives into one of those conversations that really gets people thinking, the kind that mixes science, mystery, and just a bit of what if. His guest here is famous American actor Matthew McConaughey. You've got Joe, always pushing into the big questions about life, truth, and what's really going on out there. And then McConaughey, thoughtful, grounded, but open-minded, bringing his own unique way of seeing the world.
Yeah, but if you just know the actual facts, like people that don't think there's anything, that aliens are real, there's no way, we're alone, we've never been contacted.
Why not?
Gary Nolan, the guy who was on here yesterday that was talking about cancer research, he was also telling us about a piece of wreckage they found from a craft.
Here's where it gets tricky. The idea that this material was handled carefully, with a direct chain of possession, meaning they can trace exactly where it came from. That matters a lot because without it, you can't really trust the data. The fact it was almost pure silica and couldn't be manufactured with Earth's known methods in 1950 adds to the mystery. If someone back then had made it, they'd have needed technology far beyond what existed. So it raises the question, is this a misunderstood natural phenomenon or something artificial we can't explain? Either way, it challenges what we think we know about material science.
Was it 1950 that they found it?
Which one?
The first one, the silica one? So they have direct chain of possession of this evidence from, I believe it was 1950, and it was almost pure silica, and the magnesium ratios were so off that he said that this magnesium had to have been, it had to have been sourced from a place that experienced a neutron bomb every 2 minutes for 900 years. That's how off the isotopes were to magnesium that we find here on Earth. He's like, I'm not saying it's impossible for someone to ever do that, but I'm saying this is from 1950. Like, this is a real piece of what they're saying is a wreckage of a craft. And it has a material composition that is impossible for a normal person to create in 1950. So what the fuck is this? Right. And you say that to people, and they're like, oh. So Gary Nolan, who's a professor at Stanford, he's a professor in the what is his forensics? Is that what his he does cancer research, but what is his actual title? Stanford School of Medicine professor. Anyway.
Then there's talk of another piece, supposedly an alloy with atomic level layering that would cost billions to replicate, and it was found in 1970. That's wild. If you think about what technology was like back then, no nanotech, no atomic scale engineering, it just doesn't line up. Even today, building something like that would require massive resources. So you're left wondering, either someone was doing secret, mind-blowing experiments decades ahead of their time, or it came from somewhere else. Honestly, it's hard not to be intrigued. These are the kinds of stories that stick in your head because they don't fit neatly anywhere.
People brought him this material and they said, would you analyze this? Because you know all these different scientists and endowed chair, Department of Pathology, Stanford School of Medicine. So when a guy like that is saying, no, this is a composition of this piece of wreckage that you can't make here.
Right.
They found a type of alloy that doesn't exist on Earth, and it has on an atomic level layers upon layers of whatever this alloy is. He's like, this cost billions of dollars to create, and they found it in 1970. Like in 1970, no one had this. It's not possible to make. Like maybe you can make it today,
right,
but we don't have the equipment to make it today. You could conceive how someone with enough resources could have that money today to do something like that, but it would be an enormous undertaking.
Yeah.
And this is a piece of craft that someone found from 1976. So when a guy like that is telling you, like, I'm not saying what it is. I'm not saying where it's from, but I'm saying this is fucking crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't add up to what we could practically do.
Whether you believe these materials are alien, misunderstood natural phenomena, or just mysteries waiting on better science, The point is how conversations like this push the boundaries. They make you realize how much we still don't know about the universe and about what might already be sitting right here on Earth.
So when someone says conspiracies, like, I believe in conspiracies because they're real.
Right.
And because I don't have to worry about being taken seriously. And most people do. Most people don't want to be a fool. You don't want to be a silly person. You know, you don't want to be mocked when people aren't around you. Like, fucking Bob believes the JFK assassination. Yeah.
Honestly, that's the beauty of it. Staying curious without losing your grip on reality. You don't have to buy every claim, but you also don't have to dismiss something just because it sounds unbelievable. With people like Nolan digging into the data and platforms like Joe's giving space to talk about it, or at least asking the right questions. And maybe that's the real takeaway, not whether aliens are real, but whether we're open enough to chase the truth wherever it leads.